So there's always going to be those staple fragrances in the community, you know, for the fragrance enthusiasts, for the people who are into this on kind of a serious level. These are fragrances that kind of the majority of us are always going to love, or at the very least, we're always going to be aware of them, and we're going to be able to see the impact that these have had on the community over the past 20 years or so, at least some of these. All popular stuff here. You know all of these. You probably have smelled each and every one of these multiple times. Probably a lot of you guys own all of these, if not the overwhelming majority. We just have 8 here. But I wanted to kind of cover that because even though a lot of these have been around for a good while, they've been talked to death, us enthusiasts, we're still going to have a lot of respect for these. Let's get things started with Chanel Allure Homme. This is the original. This is where this whole line started. So of course you guys know Allure Homme Sport Extreme, the original Sport Edition Blanche, which is actually what I'm wearing right now, and the Cologne version, right? Eau Extreme Edition Blanche are kind of two hype monsters, it seems. You know, really talked up here in the community. And so, like a lot of times, the original gets overshadowed, right? People seem to not give this one much attention anymore. I still like the original, just Allure Homme. I love the bottle, so timeless, so classic, so minimal, right? There's not much to it, and I love the scent as well. Vanilla, lemon, peach, tonka bean. It's citrusy, it's aromatic, a little bit sweet, kind of powdery, but still has this classic, fresh, masculine, and ultimately very high quality and high-end smell to it. It's a very versatile fragrance that pulls a lot of compliments, and it still works great to this day, and I think a lot of people out there are going to know about this one for sure. Next up, another one, we have Terre de Hermes. This is just going to be the original here. Orange, vetiver, and pepper are some of the main notes. You guys know all about this one. Dirty, earthy orange. That's how it's described. And to be fair, that's a pretty good way to put it. You know, it's earthy, it's orangey, it's kind of peppery and spicy. Very masculine, more traditional leaning here. It's going to not be everyone's favorite for sure. So while everyone may not love this fragrance, I think we can all kind of agree that this is a staple. It's one of those fragrances that is just always going to be around, right? Even though there are some flankers now and you know, continuing to put out flankers, Terre de Hermes itself is never going to go away. It made a huge impact in the community, and I remember this one always being talked about when I was first starting out, and even now, this one is still all over the place, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So from one Hermes to another, we have Un Jardin sur le Nil. Grapefruit, mango, and tomato are some of the main notes here. Smells like being in a garden. I think this translates to a garden on the Nile. Is that what it is? Something like that. It really does smell like being in a garden. It's green, it's a little bit herbal, very fresh and bright, kind of citrusy, you know. It's so nice. You know, this is not the type of thing that your average consumer will go crazy for. They would smell this and be like, wait a minute, you're telling me that is a cologne that I'm supposed to wear? You know, a lot of people won't really get it, but people in the community, enthusiasts who want something that's photorealistic and green and kind of very spring, early summer oriented, this one right here is very nice stuff, very well done. And it's kind of one of the more hyped up ones from this line. There are a lot of fragrances here in this line. This one's the one that gets the most talk for great reason. Smells fantastic, definitely not going to go anywhere. Of course, you guys are very familiar with this one as well. We have L'Homme Idéal Eau de Parfum by Guerlain. So this one seems to be talked about often because it's a fragrance that is always kind of hard to get. The bottle has been updated now and some things in the line have been discontinued. So, you know, it's just one of those ones where it seems like because it's out of stock, people want it even more, you know. For me, I feature it and I include it because I absolutely adore this stuff. I love it. Smelling it just here, like off the dry down, you pick up on the vanilla and a tiny bit of an animalic smell, very tiny bit, like a leather in there. But really what it's all about is cherry, almond, vanilla. You get the almond cherry up top, the vanilla kind of comes in the base, giving it more of a syrupy sweetness, so to speak. it is multi-dimensional. You know, a lot of fragrances out there, and not all, but a lot, can be a little bit flat, maybe a little bit boring. This one has so many stages and so many twists and turns where if you just smell it once and pass your judgment on it, you may be missing out, because you really have to wear it multiple times and get through that opening, get through that mid into the dry down, and really spend some time with it. And then you open up and discover all these different things about it that you may love even more. You know, for me, it's just a great scent. You know, it's one that I liked right away, and at the time, you know, I was newer when I first smelled this one, so it was something where, you know, it kind of shocked me. It did have to grow on me a little bit because I knew that it was unique. I knew it was something special, and it just kind of threw me off. But the more time I spent with it, the more I loved it. This one and the original, the Eau de Toilette, are always going to be talked about. They're always going to be well known for great reason. And also, this one is back in stock now. I will link it down below. It's the new packaging update, and I'll link everything down below as well so you can get these at the best price. If you've been looking to pick one up, check down below. Alrighty, of course you guys know this one. We'll run through it quick. It's La Nuit de l'Homme. Funky looking bottle. I just grabbed the closest one to me, and this happened to be my edition art bottle, which I believe is I actually can't remember the year. It's 38KD01 is the batch code. I think it's the first reformulation, I think is what it is. So it would be the second formulation. It's not vintage, but it's, you know, next level over. I believe is how this one is here. It's very rich, you know, nice, sweet, dusty cardamom, a lot of cedarwood, a lot of lavender. It's so good. It's La Nuit de l'Homme. I love it. Some people hate it. Some people are sick of it. I don't care. This could be talked about every single day, and I would still wear it. It's one I like to wear to bed. It's one I like to wear in the evening. It's a good comfort fragrance. I wear it just for myself because I love how it smells. It's just one of those scents. It got hyped up to death, but still, everyone is going to know this one for years to come, and honestly, I think it deserves it. This is something else. And of course, this one here, 1996 release, Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette. This fragrance is older than I am, and it is still being talked about. It is still a bestseller. People are still buying Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette, even though there are countless flankers, including now the new Eau de Parfum. You know, 20 years later, over 20 years later, they released just a standalone EDP. That's something that's pretty cool. Profumo Profondo, amazing. Profondo Light's really good. Absolute even is good if you want something a little bit more playful and juvenile. The whole line is fantastic to me. But the original, this is always going to be talked about. Still is and will be for years to come, even though they're probably going to continue to put out new flankers. No one will forget about the Eau de Toilette, and I think that's pretty cool. You guys know the notes. It's got C notes, lemon, bergamot, lime, whole bunch of citrus and florals in here. It's watery, it's aquatic, it's uplifting and bright. It's oceanic and vacation smelling, but could be worn for anything. It's Acqua di Gio. You've smelled it, you know it, you probably have it. And if you don't have the original, I'm sure you have one of the flankers. Another Guerlain, we have L'Instant Guerlain. This is the Eau de Parfum here. Now, this is the new bottle style, the new formulation or whatever. It came in a different bottle back in the original days there. I don't have one of those bottles. I wish I did. This is what you get now, and smells fantastic. I can't compare this to the vintage, but I know that this is amazing. Cacao, patchouli, sandalwood, star, anise, I believe are some of the main notes here. I love it. Absolutely love this one. It's so classic and so upscale. Like, I don't know, it just has this rich, expensive, luxurious smell to it. And the crazy part is, this is only like $40 to $50 for 100 milliliter on discounters. That is not a lot of money, at least comparatively speaking to other designers and of course niche. And also just talking about the smell, it really does have this luxe, expensive, high-end, just next level smell. It just exudes this class and sophistication that some niche fragrances don't even put out. And the fact that you can get this one for $50, that to me is incredible. This remains as one of the best designer pickups that you can make for the price. It was talked about a lot back in the day, and then once they did a whole reformulation bottle change, it was talked about even more because people are talking about the old versus new. Now, it still is being talked about. It still is worth picking up. This one here it's next level. And kind of to tag along with that one here, last fragrance for this video is DIOR Homme Intense Iris Amberette Lavender. You guys know the drill. It's kind of the iconic iris fragrance, at least on the sweeter side. It's just kind of where it falls. There's a lot of other ones, of course, and on the fresh side, you know, there's Prada L'Homme. It's kind of taken the role as the iconic, fresh, soapy iris fragrance, you know. Even though it didn't come first, it's just kind of the one that caught on. And that's kind of how this one is here. It's the one that caught on. It's the one that got all of the hype and still does. And for good reason. It's beautiful. It's a work of art. It's a stunning creation. It's not for everybody. You know, you may need to spend some time with it. You may need to just spend some time with other things and work your way up to it. If you're just starting out and you dive straight into something like this, there's a good possibility that you just won't like it. And so it's important to do your due diligence and do your research and make sure you work up to something like this. That being said, generally in the community, people go crazy for this stuff. They did when it first came out. They still do now, and they will for years to come. And I'm right there with you. I love it. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 8 fragrances that enthusiasts will always love. I think we can all agree that whether we love these or not, they've made an impact. We're always going to understand that and realize that. And I know for me, I'm always going to respect these and enjoy all of them. I love all these fragrances here. I think they're amazing stuff, and I know a lot of you guys think the same. Links to these will be down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.